Good morning, everybody. This is Mark Ebinger, and this is the Essential Oil Talk radio show with Marc and Nikki. And today we're going to talk about some healthy ways that you can use essential oils to support your family's health.
Hello, and welcome to the show. Quick reminder, if you're catching us on YouTube on the replay, go ahead and click that subscribe button and that little notification bell because you don't want to miss what we got going on today.
No, there's a lot. And I'll tell you what, if you've been monitoring social media, at least on our ends, within the essential oil world, there is a lot of excitement going on and lots of sharing, lots of comments, just some enthusiasm, lots of support. So people are really reacting favorably to not only within the essential oil community, but also outside of that community, people are actually getting a little bit more interested in what are these essential oils and how do they work and how can I use them.
My Facebook is blowing up and I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's fascinating. So we're in the process of booking some really cool folks to come on that have a lot of knowledge about essential oils. We want to bring them on so that we can kind of dig into their brains a little bit and figure out better ways to use essential oils, more common ways. That's my biggest thing is I like, the regular folks, how do we use these things? I don't need all of the science and the deep stuff, but I want to know quality is obviously huge within the essential oil world, but I want to know how to use them. How do I use them when my daughter's not feeling good, or I'm not feeling good or whatever. For those of you out there maybe who don't know what essential oils can be used for, they're a lot more than fragrance. They can be used for like supporting your immune system, which is huge, very, very effective. I've been doing that for years. Better rest. It can help folks sleep a little bit better. Emotional health, supporting our skin. Like frankincense, sandalwood.
It's wonderful.
It goes back thousands of years for skin. Our cardiovascular system, just an example, and of course, healthy brain function. We like to be able to focus a little bit better, and as we go through our day and so forth. But if you want to learn with us, we really are excited about getting this word out. We have a half-an-hour show a week that we do on the radio, but we also teach folks. If you want to connect with us and learn, you can reach out to our website at eotalkradio.com and just click on the Learn tab.
Yeah, and a lot of people are familiar with 3 different ways to use their essential oils, right? We can use them aromatically, just diffuse them in the air and put that nice scent in the air. We can use them topically, where we're putting them on our skin, and we can also take them internally, right? Some people put them in capsules. I put them in my water. I love drinking orange essential oil in my water. I think we talked about that last week. I know your wife, Jennifer, she does lemon essential oil, right?
Yep, that's a big one of hers. She likes citrus fresh, too, which is a nice blend of a bunch of different citrus oils.
Yeah. That's awesome. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about today, Mark. So simple is going to be my word for the day because everything I'm going to tell you today is simple. I'm going to go over my essential oil morning routine, right, where I diffuse essential oil orange. That's my favorite. I diffuse it every morning. I'm going to let you know why. And we're going to talk a little bit about a sugar scrub, right? You know what sugar scrubs are?
Yes, I kind of do.
Do you use them on your pretty hands?
I don't. My wife uses them. I've never actually used it.
Well, they make excellent gifts, by the way. I just wanted to let you know that. So some girls at the office want some gifts. I know what they're getting this week.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And Girl Scout cookies. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, so, can I just jump in real quick and tell you a little bit about Girl Scout cookies? So I was a police officer for, almost 30 years, right? But the last 24 years, so forth, at the San Antonio Police Department here in our beautiful city.
Nice, thank you.
And they would spoil us with Girl Scout cookies. Of course, we'd buy them from the other patrolmen. Their daughters are selling the cookies and so forth. But this one year, they brought out these huge boxes, and I'm not kidding. They were like 3 foot by 3 foot boxes full of the smaller boxes of cookies.
Oh, my God.
And I ate so many boxes.
For free?
They were free. Yeah, they were just brought to the substation. I mean, the San Antonio community loves their police officers. They just absolutely do.
Yes, they do.
And the holidays roll around, and we get free stuff. It's really nice. It's heart-touching that they do that. The community does that with the officers. But yeah, I ate so many, I just kind of gave up on Girl Scout cookies for a while.
I never want to see another cookie for the rest of my life.
Please.
Well, yes, we do appreciate our officers, by the way. So thank you for the time that you served for us. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
So the recipe I'm talking about in the kitchen today is very similar to the Thin Mints. It tastes just like the Girl Scout cookies. So you don't have to just have them once a year. You can have them whenever you want. And then we have a pretty special guest today, don't we?
We do. It's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. It's going to be an episode of how is it made? Remember that show on TV, How It's Made?
No, never watched it. Sorry.
Oh, I watched the one on hot dogs, and I haven't had a hot dog since. I'm just saying. And then a little bit later in the show, we're going to announce our winner from last week's giveaway. That's exciting. And then, Mark, I want you to tell me a story about this week. I know, since we're avid essential oil users, you have a story that you reached for an essential oil. So give me something. I know you got it.
I did. And you know, I was asleep the other night, and I'd eaten quite a large meal kind of later on in the day. So I'm in bed sleeping. I kind of woke up by my heart's beating. It's loud, right? Boom, boom, boom. And so I kind of gave it some time and just was kind of watching. I was watching my breathing and everything. And then it wasn't going down. So I reached over and grabbed, there's a blend called Peace and Calming. And this is the one we mentioned last week. We talked about the baby.
Oh, the babies, yeah.
Yeah, exactly
I'm very
right.
familiar.
So I keep a couple of oils on my nightstand, and I grabbed one, as Peace and Calming. And I put it on my chest and my neck, and then I just kind of kept my finger on my pulse, and I was watching my breathing, was breathing in the oils. And it took just about a minute, 2 minutes, and my heart just kind of calmed itself down to a normal pace. So that was it was neat. You know, I'm almost 50, and
Neat.
when your heart's beating that hard, it's like, you know, hey, you know, what's going on? So
scary would be the word. Do you have any? Did you have a dream about spiders or something?
No, and it wasn't scary for me. I was just, you know, I was keeping an eye on things.
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Thanks. And I know you got one too, so go ahead.
I have essential oils. You know, I use maybe 1,000 a day. I don't know. Not really. Maybe 6 or 8. But every morning, I think we talked about it last week. When I get up, I use peppermint essential oil. I just kind of breathe that in, and that really wakes me up. But once the kids are off to school, breakfast is done, the dishes are done. Just kidding. I don't do dishes. They sit there a couple of days before I do them. Not really, but sometimes that happens. I'm in the bathroom. I'm getting my makeup on, and I like to diffuse orange essential oil, right? So that's a very uplifting scent, right? And it puts that in the atmosphere, and it just really prepares me for a really good day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So want to remind our listeners that if you have a tip that you want to share with us, put it on eotalkradio.com. Just go in there and share your tips with us, because we can actually mention them on the show.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. It's like, you know, so-and-so from, you know, South Carolina's got a great tip on such and such. So, yeah, we're excited about doing that.
Yeah, so if you live in South Carolina, please give us your tip.
Speaking of tips, you got a DIY, too, you want to share with us today.
I DIY.
And just so you know, these end up on our website as well. You check for our blog section, and there's like recipes and DIY and so forth. But what's your DIY for
So,
today?
again, back to easy, right? We're talking about a sugar scrub. Now, sugar scrubs are simple. They exfoliate the skin. And they kind of, you know, depending on what essential oil you put in there, they actually kind of wake your skin up and give you this sensation of just like, today's going to be a great day. So I use that in the shower in the morning. I'm going to take 1 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of fractionated coconut oil or grapeseed oil. Pick what you want to pick. And then you're going to add 6 drops of peppermint, 6 drops of orange essential oil. And you just kind of put that on your skin, let it sit for maybe, 20, 30 seconds, and then just let it run off. It is so good. It leaves your skin feeling very, very soft. So I like that.
And for the folks that are driving and maybe didn't write all this down, they can find it on our website, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they can find it on our website if I choose to put it up there.
You will.
I will put it up there today, I promise.
That's a lot of fun. We're really adding a lot to the website. So.
Yeah, we are. So do you ever use sugar scrub like on your feet or your elbows? Because men, sometimes working out in the yard and such, you get dry elbows. So that's a benefit to you guys.
No, I haven't used it, but.
You don't work in the yard?
I try not to.
All right.
I work in a radio station.
The easiest recipe ever. Back to the Girl Scout cookies, right?
Oh my
Absolutely love them. Thin mints.
Here we go.
I'm going to give you this recipe for peppermint brownies. Oh my gosh. Who doesn't love peppermint brownies?
I love them for sure.
Yeah, they're awesome. Use any recipe you want. It can be a box of Heinz, a box of Betty Crocker. It can be your great-great-grandmother's from scratch recipe. You're just going to prepare your recipe, bake it with the directions that come on the box or whatever recipe you have, and you're going to add in 6 drops of peppermint essential oil. Whip that up, stick it in the oven. The house is going to just smell amazing. Your neighbors are going to be knocking on your door. What's that smell? It smells amazing.
You know, my favorite, can I say this? My favorite is from Costco, the Ghirardelli ones.
Oh, yeah.
I like those.
They're so good.
They are good.
They're rich
and I'm not being paid to say that. But.
And it's Sunday, so, calories don't count on Sunday. So that's perfect.
Nice. Now I'm just finding out about this. About that. All right, so our guest today, and we're actually a little bit ahead schedule, which I wanted because I want to get as much time as possible with Cory Howden. So let me just tell you a little bit about how I met Cory. So I went up to Canada because I wanted to go and work at one of the farms, right? I wanted to actually get this experience firsthand. And so he's up there with his crew, and their crew is really tight. It's like family up there. And they were so welcoming. And they were just very I mean, we had all kind of product waiting for us when we got there, and just, hey, is there anything we can do for you? It just really made us feel like, that we were family. It was just a great experience. But this guy has so much knowledge. I mean, he actually worked with the founder of Young Living to build that farm out there. He was one of the superintendents on that project. I've seen pictures where, he's got a beard now, but you see the picture where he doesn't have a beard, but where they're putting that farm together, and just it takes a lot of passion to do that. I think we're going to talk a little bit about that today.
Absolutely.
But how neat to talk to somebody who not only helped build the distillation and farm setup over there, but he works every single day with, or making these essential oils, right? Distilling them and all of that. So I got a few questions for him. And do I have to push a button to let him in, or we're good? All right. Chris, our sound guy over there is taking care of me. Cory, can you hear me okay?
I absolutely can, Mark.
How are you doing, man? How's the weather up there in Canada?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's spring is coming soon.
Okay. What kind of temperature are we talking about?
Oh, we're probably this evening in the single digits, but 12, 14 degrees.
Oh, wow.
Okay. That's balmy. I don't know. I'd be running around in shorts.
So, hey, Cory, I'm Nikki. I'm so excited that you're on our show today. I'm looking forward to learning a bunch of stuff, and I got some questions for you.
Yeah.
So, perfect.
As I did last time, I kind of forgot. So we do have a sponsor. So let me mention the sponsor real quick. So our sponsor for this half hour is San Antonio Empowerment Council. They are a local group of essential oil enthusiasts that put on large events. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of people that come to these events. And we have them, so every so often, about every month, we have an event that's going on. And every quarter, they have a large event coming on where we have like between 300 and 400 people that are there. So we got an event coming up on March 2nd. That's this weekend. We have a Dr. Kevin Amen, just like it sounds, is going to be there. And he's going to be teaching about essential oils and the immune system. And that, sadly, by the time you guys hear this, is going to already have passed, but it's sold out anyway, so you're not missing out on anything. But
yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Yeah, and
then April 6th, right?
April 6th, we have a huge rally going on here with lots going on. So that's if you want to check out their website, which is their Eventbrite page, it's at saecevents.com. That's saecevents.com. All right, so back to Cory. So, all right, Cory, so you're a farm distillation manager, correct? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I am at the Northern Lights Farm.
All right, awesome. And that's a Young Living farm.
It is. It's one of their corporate-owned farms.
All right, awesome. And so did I hit that right, that you were one of the builders on this farm? You actually helped set that up?
Yeah, so I was called by my father, and then my father and Gary, to come and help them manage the project and build the farm in 2014.
And then you stayed on as the guy who runs it, right?
Yeah, so I guess I've been asked to train my replacement, but that becomes a difficult challenge when you fall in love with what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I remember we were talking, and really passion is what fuels this kind of operation. It's like you can't really pay somebody to do this job. It really comes from the individual.
From the heart, too.
From the heart, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so what do you guys produce up there in Canada? What's your main crop?
So our flagship oil is the Northern Lights Black Spruce oil, which is the main ingredient in Valor and 34 other, like Peace and Calming I heard you talking about earlier.
Yeah.
The spruce, the black spruce is one of them grounding oils that really brings a balance to a lot of the blends. It's in 34 blends from RC to you name it, and you'll find it in the emotional blends mostly, or respiratory blends.
Okay, and so it sounds like it would have been a pretty important oil because, first of all, it's kind of up in the middle of nowhere, right, where this farm was built. And I know the founder of the company, Gary, was very passionate about doing this. Before that, he was making a lot of truck trips back and forth that are pretty treacherous terrain or roads to do in the wintertime. But what was the driving force behind him actually wanting to? Why was black spruce so important that he wanted to build a farm way up there in the middle of nowhere?
Well, black spruce is a unique tree that grows in muskeg. Muskeg's like a floating swamp. It's actually covered, but it's over top of water. And so that happens at the rim of the boreal forest where it turns to permafrost around our continent. And so that's the climate that these trees grow in. And the reason there was such a push to build this farm was they were out of stock of Valor, and as soon as they would get enough supply in from their partner farm, within weeks it would be back out of stock. Seemed impossible to be able to keep up with that supply and to supply the demand that was existing. So Gary was in a real hurry to get a facility built and established that would be able to fix that problem, so that the members of Young Living and the essential oil enthusiasts wouldn't be constantly running out of all 34 of those blends that people rely on.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get that. I remember 2014, 2015 time frame. It seems like Valor, they ended up coming out with a different Valor as well, temporarily anyway. But so can you walk us through, so you work in the distillation process pretty much every day. Could you walk us through a little bit? So obviously you're harvesting the trees. What are you harvesting them with? And it just like real quick, and then just kind of walk us through that process of getting the chips and stuff over to the distillation process and then distilling them.
Sure. So when the ground is frozen and we can get out on this floating swamp, we use a feller buncher.
Okay.
It's a tree harvester for small trees. It's somewhat like a circular saw on a bigger scale, spinning on the end of an excavator, that cuts and collects the trees. And we take trees that are roughly bigger than 6 feet tall. And then we cut those trees off at the top of the snow level, which leaves enough of a tree underneath that they form a stump culture. Those are gathered up and chipped through a wood chipper, and then we haul those in what we call a walking floor trailer. It's a trailer where the floor actually self-extracts the load.
Right, and I've seen this firsthand. So what's the story behind that real quick? Where did that because that's kind of a cool little contraption, because it saves you from having to go in and actually scoop the stuff out. So what's the backstory on that real quick?
Well, prior to Young Living having those trailers, they were like the bulk of the work was hand loaded in and out. But what those trailers are is they're a floor of 3 finger sets, and one set goes backwards at a time, and then all 3 move forward. So it moves the load forward, 1 foot at a time, and then each finger goes back independently, and then the whole thing moves again.
Oh, I got you.
So that on the floor of a trailer allows 2/3 to stay and 1/3 to go back, and then the entire load to move forward.
Gotcha. All right, because that's a pretty impressive setup.
Yeah, and so then that whole process, all the material that handles that wood or our black spruce is stainless steel. I mean, when it hits our distillery, the entire process is stainless steel. So we load that wood chips in a vat. This process happens in real time. So from the time we harvest the trees till the time that's in an essential oil is 24 hours.
Oh, that's fast.
Wow.
Why would that be important, do you think?
Well, what happens when you cut a tree and lay it on the ground, it starts to lose its essential oil. Now, it doesn't leak and run out, but it starts to evaporate. And I consider that like, it's the life force leaving the plant, right? It's just a matter of time before there's no oil left in that wood. So the faster that we can harvest that and put it through the extraction process, not only the more essential oil do we get from that plant, but also the higher the quality.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So you load it into the vats. How much are you putting into the vats?
So our load, we put about 5 tons into each and every vat. And that vat would be filled, and we manually get in there with people and compress that down like we're stomping grapes a little bit to give it a nice compaction level, so that when we introduce the steam to the bottom, it doesn't just develop channels and blow through, but it allows it to have an even sort of saturation. And that's what extracts the essential oil, is the steam. So that steam's introduced to the plant, and it attaches to those molecules of the oil as it passes through the plant and lifts up. And then we condense that steam back into a liquid. And then we have the oil and the water together. And then that's just a simple gravity separator. It's just oil floats on top of water. So it goes through a water cylinder that allows the oil and the water to separate, and we extract the essential oil off the top.
So what happens if you get bugs and stuff like that into the plant material that goes into the vats? Did the bug stuff get in there too? Or?
Ew.
Yeah, so this is nature, so all things exist. And the beautiful part about the steam process is, because of that temperature being over 212 degrees, so that it's no longer a water, not only do we wipe out any of the minor stuff that may be floating in water, as far as it's no longer alive, it's no longer relevant, and also most of the other material goes out the bottom, so it doesn't rise up with the oil. It would stay down. For example, a bug that's been steamed isn't likely to float in the vat or lift out of the plant matter. But in the event that there is anything else that's obviously would be inert, but anything that would be in with that oil that would be of a lighter weight than water, then that oil is taken and put in through an unbleached coffee filter to take out those particulates down to that size before it goes for testing.
All right, perfect. And so out of that 5 tons of plant material, how many bottles of oil are you getting out of that?
So we would expect to get somewhere between 600 and 700 bottles of black spruce oil per vat that we cook.
Wow.
Wow, and that's just the steam, right? The water and the plant material. There's nothing else added to these little bottles.
That's right. And even our steam is an organic steam. So that's food grade steam that goes through cyclones, and it's actually well water that comes out and goes through our water treatment plant. Our water treatment plant simply is cyclones to take out any particulates, any fine sand or whatever might have come up in the water stream, and then it goes through a salt brine, and then that's exactly all it is the steam that goes from there that goes into the vat. So, yeah, there's absolutely never an opportunity for this to come in contact with anything other than stainless steel and that steam. Young Living is extremely diligent on protecting the integrity of not only the quality of the oil, but also the quality of the process to make sure that those things are not options.
Wow, that's amazing.
It is. And what else are you guys going to try and grow up there?
So every year we continue to test and plant crops and harvest. But, Young Living talks a lot about seed to seal, and seed to seal is extremely important. But as I've well learned, there's many years of soil preparation that go in prior to the seed. So we planted goldenrod, yarrow, caniza, einkorn. We've planted lots of different crops in our fields, and we harvest a small amount and till them into the soil and then test the soil and then test the oil and go back around and round until we can get that balance that meets Young Living's rigorous spec.
Right. There's no shortcuts, right? Not even for you out there?
No, there's no shortcuts. I mean, I think that the old philosophy that Rome wasn't built in a day stands true. If you want the highest quality, it takes time. It takes effort.
Right. And so a couple of quick questions I got for you. So your farm's open for folks to come up and actually see this process for themselves. Is that correct?
Absolutely. So during the month of April and February, we allow groups to come up and spend a week with us and audit our process, similar to what you did, Mark, and just go through the entire program and what we do and be a part of every step. And it's an open door policy. It's an open book. Anywhere you want to go, anything you want to ask is open for conversation.
And that's one of the reasons
so that
why.
Happens.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you on the show, because that transparency is there. And I knew that when I reached out to you, you'd be willing to come on the show and answer a few questions about it. And, it's not like we're favoring necessarily, a company over another, but I just know Young Living's quality, and I know some people there, and I know that you guys are very transparent. So you guys got a festival coming up on March 9th up there in Canada. It's a 2-week event starting on March 9th. And can you tell me, we got about a minute or so, can you tell me a little bit about that?
Sure. So March 9th to 23rd is a 2-week festival happening in the community. That's sponsored by Young Living. That's a wonderful event. We're having the world's largest open sprint class dog sled race ever. We got 38 teams registered to come and race in that. We're building the world's largest snowman. There's music every day. I mean, world-class talent. It's just a wonderful time. And that's sort of being marketed on a 1-week basis. Come for 1 week, come for the second week. And it's too much to talk about in 1 minute, but it's a wonderful opportunity. The website for that is thenorthernlightsfestival.com.
Right, and you're going to have Seed to Seal tours on that as well if folks want to kind of see this distillation process. You're going to be having it open to them, correct?
Absolutely. Everybody that attends gets the opportunity to come out to our distillery and spend a half a day or a full day up to them and go through that process audit.
That's pretty amazing. All right. So if folks want to connect with you personally, how can they find you? Your Facebook page or?
Absolutely. Yep. My Facebook page, or reach out to the Northern Lights Farm and Distillery Facebook page or the Northern Lights Festival Facebook page. Any one of those three, you'll directly link to me.
Awesome. And I did check that out. If you go at Cory Howden, at Cory Howden, at Cory Howden, you can connect with him. Man, thank you very much, Cory, for that. And I would love to get you back on another time so we can dig in a little bit more on some stuff in the future. But until then, I really appreciate you calling in from Canada.
Appreciate the opportunity to share, Mark.
Yep.
right.
And Cory, I appreciate you too. Valor's my favorite. So if that ever goes out of stock again, I'm going to be calling you.
I'll be the one to blame for that.
Have a blessed day, Cory. Thanks for being here.
All right. You're welcome.
Take care, Cory. Bye-bye. Okay, so that was Cory Howden. What a treat, right? I mean, you kind of
Yes.
dig into that a little bit. For people who don't understand the essential oil process, you know, it's kind of cool to be able to see a little behind-the-scenes stuff. And when I do this video and I put it up on YouTube, I'll try and put in some pictures or video so you guys can see a little bit of that as it rolls through. And, of course, that's at eotalkradio.com. You guys can check that out. As we wrap up, Nikki, you've got a giveaway from last time. So who's our winner?
So our winner is actually someone here in San Antonio.
Oh,
Her
good.
name is Sherry Pattison. She chimed in and said, you know what, you guys are doing a great job. And then she complimented me, not you.
That's why she won.
Again.
Yeah.
And I just really appreciated that. She's like, man, I was listening to you. You did a great job. So that made me feel good. And so I'm going to be delivering that to her sometime this week.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so congratulations. And I just want everyone to know that they can find today's broadcast on our Facebook page, and that's the @ or @ EO Talk Radio. Like our page, comment on it, and then maybe you'll be our winner next week, because we're going to give something away every single week, right, Mark?
Yes, we are. And that's what
awesome.
makes it kind of fun, too. And I'll tell you that why not, like people who are submitting recipes and other things, why not do that? And maybe we can pick a winner out of that, too. Who knows where that'll go?
Oh, that would be cool. Maybe
So,
we'll
yeah.
pick it from somebody who puts a tip in there. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah, that would be. All right, so that's our show for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And don't forget to connect with us on eotalkradio.com. Find us on Facebook at EO Talk Radio. We'll see you guys later. Take
Have
care.
a good
Have
one.
a great week.